Hi there folks, welcome to another episode of Ping the Last. You quite finished there, Sean?
Yeah, sorry, I just wet the whistle.
You've had half an hour.
Well, get ready for it because I'm going in on this one.
Anyway, let's get cracking. Time's ticking by, we've got things to do. So we'll start with some more picks for you. Not tips, as we always say, just our ones to watch for next season. And we'll also get Jamie's choices at the end of the show. So let's kick off with you then, Neil. Santini, Nicky Henderson. You know, three wins, 2 places out of 4. Sorry, out of 5, obviously. Yeah, what do you want to say about him, then, mate?
Yeah, again, another horse. Well, he won a novice, Ladbrokes novice event back in December of the year just gone. Over 2 mile 4, horrible conditions. Again, another horse that seems to like it when the conditions are a little bit boggy underfoot. And then another 2 mile 4 under Jerry McGrath. Again, Nicky Henderson horse, by the way. Sorry, he actually beat Black Hop that day, which is a horse that you
definitely
last week that we discussed. And Nico was actually on a well fancied French horse again for Nicky Henderson. I'm trying to remember the name. It will come at Pacific de Bourne, something along those lines.
Okay.
Again, well fancied French import. Tailed off into 7th that day. Then went on to Cheltenham for the Albert Bartlett, which I actually backed him in, and I remember being quite critical of Nico that day, who sort of left him hanging out the back quite well for quite a long time.
Yeah, held on too long.
Yeah, held on too long. Yeah. Again, this is another horse you'll notice with a lot of his runs. Tends to wander over to the rail, nick the rail, so obviously needs a little bit of help in terms of getting over the line, so potential.
I don't think you was the only one that was surprised with that, because I think in circles of friends and family, I think other people saw that and was a bit surprised at the riding.
I just think with more prominent riders, say, I mean, he stayed on for 3rd, so he was doing a lot of his work going up the hill, which is pleasing. Again, that was stepping up to 3 mile that day. So again, I worried about the trip and things like that. Again, we mentioned the Cheltenham Hill. It's not as straightforward as these flat tracks, etc. But again, I just think with a more prominent ride would have. Not won, but would have gone a lot closer. He was closing the gap massively, and then went on to the Sefton at Aintree straight after. So they obviously think a lot of him to bring him straight back out. That quickly, and he won that. Actually beat OK Corral on the day. Question marks about where he'll go for the upcoming season, but he's clearly versatile. He's won over 2 mile 4, stepped up to 3 mile, and done a couple of good performances, including that win at Aintree. So again, I just think it's one to keep an eye on. Nico seems to be chief in command now in terms of the ride. Whether it be Albert Bartlett again, whether it be a Stayers hurdle maybe, it's all up in the air. But I think this one
seems to go around that 2, 4 to 3 mile mark, doesn't it?
Well, it's again versatile horse. So we'll see, but potentially a stayer.
A little note that I made, and I don't know if anybody saw it, if you follow Colin Tizard on Twitter and stuff, but he basically purchased a new horse called Black Centaur, which he is referenced to Kilbrick and Storm, which obviously won that day. His exact words were, he could just be another Kilbrick and Storm, which obviously is quite a complimentary comment to make. So, but yeah, obviously I know it's not Santini per se related, but just something that if you look on Twitter, you go back to comments, so you will be able to find it. But it was a sort of point-to-point video, and looks a decent horse. Won by about 6 or 7 lengths, I think, on that day. So. Just another one to think about.
Not in one of our picks. So there you go. That's a freebie.
Yeah, freebie. Okay then, Sean. Well, let's have a move on to you. Then you want to start with Storyteller.
The Storyteller. If I'm honest, it's one of those where, like you were saying, you mentioned last week that you kind of picked this year just by chance.
Somerville Boy.
That's it. Somerville. Storyteller. Now, I always favour a Davy Russell, Gordon Elloitt combo. And Davy Russell picked up the ride on him a lot last year. He's a very hit and miss horse. His jumping isn't always the best, to say the least. To be fair, doesn't seem to get into a rhythm in some races. I mean, what's it? Last 4 races, 2 firsts in that, both well, grade 1 and grade 3, but then way out of placings in the other two. So you get all or nothing with the horse, and when you get all, puts in a brilliant round of jumping, and he's a very good horse.
Well, I say,
very good
on
horse.
The notes I've got here, you know, I mean, at Punchestown, you know, over 3 mile, he won that, and he also beat in that race Monolly, Shattered Love. Monolly fell, sorry. It was Finian Oscar's last race, unfortunately, but which is obviously very sad. But it shows he's got something about him if he can beat them. You know?
And won it at a 16-1 price. So it's the way he bounces between prices and races. Okay, it's not a guarantee with what Storyteller turns up on the day, so you are risking it a bit, as you do with any horse, whether you're backing an odds-on favourite or not. It doesn't matter in this sport. But he is a very sound jumper when it clicks. He's got an entry on 3rd of November, down Royal. The list of horses in there, if they all go, I've got on there Alpha Desobo, Black Corton, Connegree, Don Polly, Sub-Lieutenant, who won recently, Woodland Opera, won recently, and Shattered Love. Now, I'm not saying they're all going, because that's one hell of a way to start to see. That's what you want to see. Again, with the amount of Elliott horses in there, will Davy keep the ride on the Storyteller, or will he choose? I'd imagine in that race, regardless if his Davy's sat on it or not, he'll be double figure prices with what's in that. And I think even for placings in that race, he's a good horse. Yeah.
Well, if you go back to the Cheltenham Festival, you know, prior to the Punchestown, prior to the Ferry House run, which, as you say, where he showed that bit of in and out form where he was 5th. You know, I mean, it in the stable plate there, you know what I mean? It was, you know, you had Splashid Ginge, Graphic Fluid, Ultra Gold, Move with a Time, and Drumcliff. You know what I mean? All horses that are, you know, can put a display in without doubt.
100%. That's what I'm saying. Horses like that are horses that I kind of feel like I'm drawn to a lot anyway. Those that, you know, not the superstar horses all the time that do it with ease, you're out to yours, horses like that. But those that just show that heart. You know, you want to get your money's worth out of these horses in the sense of they don't give up for the turn to home. You know, they know that there's still enough about them to. They fight for a place. They're a horse that love to jump, love to run. You know, and I feel that I'm not saying he'll have a great season, but you'll get a good couple of prices and a good couple of races out of him.
Well, that's what we want. We don't want to pick the bleeding obvious.
No, we're not. Like I say, that's what we're here trying to do. We're not trying to pick out an obvious one for you, and we're not trying to also say, well, you know, that we've heard this from this on the grapevine, and this horse is going to be brilliant this year. You know,
it's all opinion.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
you haven't heard my second pick tonight.
Okay, well, we'll move on then to my first choice. You probably lads might have guessed it, but I'm going to champion a couple of fillies. My first one's going to be Miss Parfois. I was really impressed with this year, putting some real decent efforts. You know, they may have only been seconds, but you know, second at Aintree, second at the Cheltenham Festival. She had a second at Ascot. She'd won 3 on the bounce before that. Okay, yes, the fields weren't quite as good, but even in the seconds at Aintree, she was behind only one, and that's Terrafor. But still beat Elegant Escape and Black Corton. You can look at the Cheltenham Festival, all over around that, both of those two around that 3 mile mark. Second only to Raffindon, which is a bit like Storyteller, can be a bit up and down, but can still, but still beat Sides in Tennessee and Jury Junkie that day, you know. And then Ascot as well, you know what I mean? Again, second at Ascot, sort of 2 mile 7, slightly smaller field, but you know, Black Corton and Mount Muse, you know what I mean? Still, you know, some reasonable horses to compete with, you know what I mean?
Black Corton was doing a lot of winning.
There was at that point, So I think it shows she's no slouch, and I think there's been a couple of little videos from Honeyball on Twitter, and she is looking good. So you know, that's going to be my first one anyway.
Not a bad shout at all.
Okay, just find my place. So your next one then is one that obviously a lot of people know about and obviously a lot of people love.
I've plumped for Bristol de May. We discussed this in one of our very first shows at the beginning of the year, and it's a horse and it's a yard that I'm always very, very keen on. And we discussed potential. Is it a seasonal horse? Does the majority of the winning around this sort of time of year and around Christmas, etc.?
It would seem so.
Absolutely. Not everyone is a fan. Not everyone is a fan. I am. Won the Charlie Hall back in November. going way back, beating Black Lion that day. And I remember sitting here watching it, and he was game as anything in front, because Black Lion was going for it. So yeah, as I say, very, very game that day, stuck to it, and won it very, very well. And then we saw something pretty spectacular. We say horses for courses. He seems to love it round Haydock, in the mud again. And had Q card back by some sort of 57 lengths.
Oh, it was crazy, wasn't it?
Which, blimey. In terms of a performance, because we all know how good Q card is on his day, that's pretty outstanding. There was no problems with Q card.
You can't not be impressed with that.
No, not at all.
That result.
But that also had Outlander and T for 2 in it as well. Then ran those sort of race in the King George, as we saw on Boxing Day, but it did come to light that he was struggling with stomach ulcers.
I was going to say that was the first sort of race when it where the
form started.
The form started to dip, and the questions started to get asked.
I mean, he then ran a third in the Cotswold after that, and Nigel sort of owing an R in. There was talk of Grand National, there was talk of Gold Cup. Again, he laid it up to Mike Bite. Mike Bite obviously came second to Native River, so in terms of franking the form, you would assume that Native River would have probably turned him over. Would he have got? I think we can agree that he probably got the distance for a Grand National. At the time after injury, would stamina have been an issue? Again, you don't know.
He did have a break as well, didn't he? From the Cheltenham to the Aintree to the Bet one.
Exactly. But again, it's one of those very, very seasonal. I'm not telling you to follow this horse all throughout the season. I just think when conditions are poor and there's some serious rounds of jumping to be done, his jumping when he goes is pretty faultless. And again, just this time of year, I think it's worth sticking with. Nigel, especially as we know, tends to have him ripe and ready for the beginning of the season.
Well, maybe we'll see more consistency from him this year. Maybe
there's every chance he may go for the national. I'm not sure. Again, I just think there's other races that he could pick up before that. So whether it's worth laying all your eggs in that basket. Plus, they've obviously got Black Lion as well to fall back on, so whether that's worth doing. But
I just think personally, from my point of view, that as you say, the ability showed at Haydock and other races as well. You know what I mean? It's a bit unfair to sort of say, from then he's no good, sort of thing.Maybe there was just some bits behind the scenes, like you say, injuries and stuff like that, and maybe he might have a clear run this year.
So injuries did play a part, but anything, as I said last when we did this in January, anything that beats Q card by that distance has got something about it.
Absolutely.
Again, horses for courses, and very, very seasonal, but for the next 4 or 5 months at least, I'd stick with it.
I've been watching Q card for years now, and obviously I know, obviously yourself is you're new to this, but I mean, like people watching will know this Q card. It's just the way that Bristol de May, does that. But it doesn't matter how many years we do the same thing. It doesn't matter what changes. Come March, even though we know we might not get back, you still back it. Because of the ability of the horse.
You get attached.
We know that the ground plays a big difference, but you can't help but not back the horse because the class is there.
Absolutely.
You just feel it needs to be wet, boggy underneath. For some reason, when it comes around at Cheltenham, the weather changes, it gets rock hard underneath.
It dries out a bit and that.
It doesn't.
But it's got to go somewhere. It's got to go somewhere. So,
as I say, maybe something that's worked on, maybe
you don't know. Each year they come back.
Exactly. Another season, another attempt in it.
I could be wrong, but I'm not going to lose the faith just yet.
No, quite. I understand that, mate. Okay, then, Sean, well, let's push on to your second choice then. You're going for William Mullins' Lorena.
Again, I will put it out there because we know that a disclaimer, we're not tipping. I'm not saying that this is a horse to lay the money on because last year she won everything. She won everything at probably some of the shortest prices you'll see because she is that good. Paul Townend just needs to sit and steer around because she will do the jumping and the running. There's no issue with her racing. And like we've discussed, and I will compare her to, people will disagree, but Annie Powell. I'm not saying she's of the ability of Annie Powell, because Annie Powell's my favourite horse.
Well,
it's bold, but
she's my favourite horse. I have the biggest picture of Annie Powell jumping the last at Cheltenham. Not when she fell, but when she actually got over.
No, when she was crying at the time, wasn't it?
I was on the floor in tears.
I was
gutted. I was gutted. But when she jumped the last, when she come back and
your
won
bank
the
manager
champion.
was gutted as well,
Oh
wasn't
God, yeah, he was on the phone. When she jumped the last
Yeah.
for the champion hurdle, which she won at course record, same as Fahim. I'm not saying back it. I'm not saying the money's going to be there, but what I'm saying is, and we've all heard, Willie Mullins has come out and said he wants to go champion hurdle route. You don't do that with a horse that isn't capable in some respects. Considering his past record of winners, Annie Power, Hurricane Fly, Fahim. Now, I'm not saying, and he's not saying, and no one's saying that they're bracketing Lorena in that sort of field of horses, but she is that good. If she can stay fit, because we know there are seasons where Mullins has health issues. If she stays fit, she gets the allowance. Bouvier got pushed. Now, I was struck between two horses to do on this one. Mellon was the other one I was going to do.
Yeah,
because
I thought you might come with Mellon.
Yeah, between the two. Now, obviously, we saw what Mellon did at Champion Hurdle. I don't think anyone was expecting him to lose by what, a head?
It was a short edge, yeah.
I don't know if there was many people that when they saw Bouvier turn for home, they thought, well, Mellon's going to get there. Because we didn't think that, did we? When we were there. So I was torn between the two, and I'm not saying that Mellon won't go champion hurdle because he proved distance is not an issue, stamina's not an issue, you know, all of that.
So I think he answered a few questions that day, Mellon.
Yeah.
Being someone that is newish to the sport, obviously I've been following it, you know, since the turn of the year, yeah, and when I've heard you mention Mellon a few times, and that was the first time I really saw what you were saying, if you know what I mean, and I just wonder whether he answered a few questions.
Well, it was Cheltenham prior to that, wasn't it?
Yeah, I wasn't sure because he lost to the new one at my tent, so I wasn't sure just how good he was. I mean, everyone knows I'm the train. Yeah, I mean, everyone knows I'm the biggest, you know, new one fan on the planet, and my tent is obviously pushing 11, 12 years old now, so. To go down to that, but again, you know, you can look at a fitness issue, and you know, it's early on. But going back to Lorena, as you said, it's all right saying, you know, it's not one to follow, and it's not saying, you know, because of the odds and things like that. Things are going to be different this season.
Of course,
and the thing to bear in mind is that if she goes for the champion hurdle, she's bypassing a mare's hurdle, which we all agree she would probably win at a canter.
Yeah.
She's bypassing that, and she's going to be up against the boys from now on. Yes, she gets the weight allowance, but it's a big step up in class and ability that she's taking. So they obviously think something of her, and if you think that you're going to get 1 to 3 or 1 to 4 on for her in a champion hurdle when she's up against the likes of Bouvier, Mellon, etc., you're very, very wrong. You'll likely get at least 5, 6s, if not a little bit more. So I understand what Sean's saying in terms of the season just gone because there's been no odds, but that is going to change if she's going to be a champion hurdle.
Yeah, if I'd have come out at the start of last season and said Lorena's the one to follow, lay your money, you would not be rich.
No.
I'm not saying do that this year because you will be rich. What I'm saying is you will get a better price for a very capable horse.
Yeah.
But like Neil said, there is the jeopardy. She's going against the boys, but she does get the allowance. But they've been there before. She hasn't. So there's always going to be the jeopardy of it. I'm again not comparing her to Annie Power. I would like to think that's the case because she was my favourite horse. I'm excited. I think Lorena will be a very exciting horse to watch this year, like I say, against the boys.
Well, we know she goes around the track. We know she'll get the trip, and
she's quick as hell.
She is quick as hell. She is quick as hell.
If that ground's good, like it was for Annie Power for him, you don't
watch
know what
this
you can
space.
see. Yeah, that's. I'll call it early. Gone.
Yeah.
Right. Lorena for the champion hurdle.
Willie could get mugged off, she might not go champion hurdle.
Of course,
Willie
Mullins said
she
this,
could, you know, 2 weeks before the start of the festival, we could declare her for the mares and she'll go up and bolt up at 1 to 4 and we all look like idiots.
Okay,
but
I'll change my mind.
But if she goes for a champion hurdle, they must think something of her. I'm one of the sceptics when it comes to Willie Mullins, so I'm not convinced she'll go for the champion. I just think this is typical of him. But
as you say, in Sean's events, you know, he has come out and said it, hasn't he?
So, and I'm a big fan. You know, my allegiances will always be with Mullins, and I do like the breed of horses that they come through. So yes, maybe I'm falling for it. Yes, maybe someone will have something to say about that. But if that's the route they choose to go, watch this space. I will call it for the champion hurdle.
And that race will probably have Benny Dadur in it as well. Sorry, the mares, which she won last year as well. So
that's actually quite a good leading point for my final choice.
Oh, you haven't?
No, I'm going to go for the Bargawa, which is obviously someone, you know, one that I championed a bit last year. You know, had 11 over hurdles, 7 wins. Actually run on the flat a couple of times, had a few wins as well. But on the point of the mares, obviously she went last year in the mares, and okay, she was disappointed 7th, and I was bit gutted really, because I expected a bit more. But you know, at the same time, you know,
I'm not sure it was wet enough for her that day. To be honest,
Benny did won, obviously. Appleshade disappointed in third, probably a bit.
That did a few accumulators.
So you know, I mean, I think, okay, yes, 7th was a little bit disappointing, but you know, I think she's shown that she's got ability. You know, after that she went to Punchestown over a 3 mile, again 7th, but you know, she did contest it with Fahim, Peniel, Identity Theft, Barclays, Hardy's. So yeah,
some good horses in
there. Yeah, you know what I mean. So I think you know, if you look prior to that, she won 4 all over the sort of 2, 7 to 3 bracket ish. She earned a chance to have a crack at that. Maybe it didn't quite work out, but I think she proved that she was worth trying.
Yes.
I think maybe they'll try.
There was no room for it to go, really.
Yeah.
And again, I think we talk about conditions, and again, I think it was just far too quick for her at Cheltenham, which is understandable. But again, this time of year, if she's running and the conditions are pretty treacherous, then she'll give anyone a run for the money.
Well, it's difficult, isn't it? Because you take, especially this part of the season, we say horses like Bristol and Nebraska one, and we go soft. Get there. That sticks in your head, doesn't it? Because then they go to Cheltenham, you know the ground's not right, but you assume that horse can transfer the ability on good ground. You get there and it's so horribly misleading in a sense of that. Well, it is, isn't it?
As a first person in Cheltenham, I can definitely
you have to get that in your head that Cheltenham is unlike any jump race course going. The ground does play a part. The horses so that gets tested to the. Do you know, it's just insane.
But you can't. That's the thing. The trainers are the first. You can't not send them to Cheltenham.
No, but that's it.
All roads lead to Cheltenham. It's as simple as that. If they bypass Cheltenham and go to Aintree, again, hoping on the conditions, by all means. We spoke about Corman Lord last week, who did just that, but you can't guarantee that.
No.
So it gets to Aintree, again, conditions still aren't as good as what you would want, as bad as you'd want them to be. You've got to run the horse anyway. They've got to run somewhere. So Cheltenham is the one. It's again, we've mentioned a couple that are just. It's seasonal. When it's raining, you get your money out.
In my experience, you know, I'm looking forward to it again, definitely. But and I'm definitely going to take the time off this time.
Yeah. It's cruel.
Trying to catch things on an app and stuff like that, not the most best thing to do. But you're right. It's well, how can I put it? It's an unknown entity, really. You know what I mean? I backed so many great horses, and they didn't do well. And like I say, maybe I was a bit green, maybe a bit naive. But like you say, you know, you look at the form and you sit there and you're backing a horse that you've just seen win 5 or 6 in a row, and you're thinking, well, it's got to have a well good chance, isn't it? And then obviously the exact opposite happens.
That's the thing, because these horses, they all avoid each other in the run up to Cheltenham. And then when they get to Cheltenham, you find out who the better one actually is.
Well, I mean,
and that's
like World Cup, isn't it? I mean, that's why you get excited about it, because you make your way there, and then the clash is there, isn't it? You know,
smash Panama, and then goes to a decent outfit.
Right, we're diverting.
Yes, we are. Yeah. So, well, anyway, that's our picks done then. As I say, we'll give Jamie a chance to give us what he thinks. So, let us know then, Jamie. What are your shouts then?
Hi, this is Jamie's Jumpers Horses to Follow National Hunt Season 2018/2019. My first horse is called Brewing Up a Storm, trained by Ollie Murphy, owned by Mrs. Barbara Hester. First run in a listed bumper race at Newby, finishing 4th, and was in front of Ben Pauling's Nesta Park in that race. But won his second outing at Hereford in a amateur's conditional bumper race in soft conditions, where he won it very impressively and very powerfully, and he beat Blue Flight and Portrush Ted in that race. We should see him over hurdles this season, and the trainer did indicate that his first race will be a 2-mile maiden hurdle race, and then hopefully we'll step him up in trip in the season. My second horse is called Chris's Dream, trained by Henry de Bromhead. He finished 9th in Albert Bartlett at Cheltenham in March last year. He finished behind the like of OK Corral, Ballywood and Robin Walters. I expect him to stay over hurdles this season, but the trainer might put him over fences and put him at 3 miles distances. But it'd be interesting how he does over fences or also over hurdles in the Irish tracks. My third horse is called Waiting Patiently, trained by Ruth Jefferson, owned by Richard Collins. What can I say about him? He was unbeaten in his 6 races from the 22nd of November 2016 to the 17th of February 2018. His second last run in that year was at Kempton on the 13th of January 2018, and his jumping was impressive to say the least. He beat a Paul Nicholls horse by 8 lengths and God's Own by 12 lengths. I would imagine he will start at 2 miles and 4.5 furlongs over fences, but his big target is the King George on Boxing Day at Kempton. But he needs safe ground, like soft conditions or easy side of good. His BHA mark is 156, and I think he could improve his mark this season. My 2 other horses are syndicate horses. The first one is El Doon, trained by Nicky Henderson. We did not see him in bumper races last year. Unfortunately, just lost a bit of time to get him on a racetrack. But this season, it's all systems go for him, and we'll see him over bumper races at 2 miles, and then hopefully we'll see him over hurdles after that. He's very impressive when I saw him last year, and he's one of the dark horses in his yard with the syndicate. My next horse is called Divine Spear. He has a BHA mark of 143, and he's also trained by Nicky Henderson. He's versatile ground horse, but I think his best ground is soft or easy side of good ground. His best performance was at Ascot on the 22nd of December 2017, winning by 10 lengths, and his jumping was fantastic over that Ascot fences. Unfortunately, he was entered in the Cheltenham Festival last March until he had a little setback, but now everything is all systems go for him for this season, and I'm sure he will run over 2 miles 4 furlongs. These horses that I've selected are my own opinions, and I hope you enjoyed them, and I hope you followed their progress through the season. Thanks for listening, and if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at BrownlowJ74.
Well, that's Jamie's choices. A couple of interesting choices there, boys. One that we don't know so much about, but Waiting Patiently we do know about.
Yes.
And we've seen performances
Up close at Ascot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, up close at Ascot, and beating Q Card that day. Very impressive. So, but that's a wrap for this week. Then we'll be back weekly as we were before with a new show, giving you previews of obviously upcoming races, and obviously touching upon the results from the weekend before.
Building up to the big one.
Building up to Cheltenham.
The fun to start.
Yeah. So catch us each week, and get in touch on Twitter and Facebook, and let us know your thoughts on the videos and any shouts that you've got. Yeah, get involved.
Lovely.
Cheers.